screen. Okay, here we go. This is about, oops. I'm gonna stop share because the last slide came up and I don't know, I can't go back. So I have to click on the first slide. Why it can't go back, I don't know. But,
Sometimes has a mind of its own.
Okay, let's click on the first slide. And back to you, share screen. Let's close that. You can't see my screen here. Okay, here we go. This is the first slide and I'm gonna make it to the full screen. Okay, so Green Newton collaborates with other groups and one of the groups is Mass Energize. And I don't, if you are familiar with the Mass Energize, we are providing take action steps. And these are the 4 take action steps that we promote highly as being most impactful in the community. Renewable, heat pump technology, insulate, and EVs. But on our take action link that can be accessed on our homepage of our website, when you click into the take action link, there's more actions than these 4. But the issue is, how do you get people to pay attention to these actions? And so that's why we come up with all kinds of, we have webinar programs and we have an e-news bulletin that goes out to about 2,600 people. And so we're in April, we're not just having an Earth Day festival, we're having an exhibit at Newton City Hall of artwork. And artists were given these actions as topics to cover in their artwork. It's quite different. Instead of a bowl of fruit or a scene, mountain scene with a river or something. They were asked to do these topics. So there are many activities that we're doing for Earth Month in addition to this festival. But these are the actions that we're always trying to get out to the community. So I'm going to go to the next slide. So we put together a group of people. Green Newton has about 18 board members, and we brought people onto the board with marketing expertise. Green Newton was founded 32 years ago, so we really have had time, to build up the organization. And we brought people on with vast experience, and so then also we're collaborating with other groups and with the city. So who's that team of volunteers? Newton has an energy coach. And we have a couple of board members with marketing expertise. So the first thing we do is what's our message? And the message was in the previous slide, mainly we want people to walk away knowing about action steps that they can take. Who's the audience? The whole community, everyone. We want them to know that around 60% of our greenhouse gas emissions are due to how we use energy in our homes and on the road. So then we say, all right, we want to have an event. Here's who's going to plan it. We've had events near City Hall in Newton, so that was a logical location. We picked City Hall. And we figured out a good date, the committee. Then we had to go to city leaders and request permission. And they were on board pretty soon after that. And so we also had to consider who's going to be there. And so we knew from this, it started out actually that we wanted to feature EV vehicles and have the EV owners bring their cars. But then it morphed into, well, let's talk to people about insulating their homes, getting the home energy assessment, solar and heat pump technology. Newton has been a part of Heat Smart program, which through Mass Clean Energy Center. They're no longer doing that, but we're keeping up this heat pump campaign. So anyway, we had to figure out who would come. We started out with booths, and as when we applying to the city that we want to do this festival, we needed to apply for permits, and that cost some money, not a huge amount. And anyway, so we had to really figure out how we're going to market this, and I'm going to get to that a little bit. And we wanted to make it inclusive. So it turned out to be a bigger event, and I'm going to get to that. It started out like just starting with EVs, then the 4 actions. Other people heard about it. The marketing group said, you've got to figure out ways to bring people there, that they're not just going to, do. So you can see how on this slide that our booths mainly were featuring the 4 take action steps. And then somebody said, I can get a petting zoo. Now, my first thought was, this isn't such a big event, but music, I wanted to start a cappella group, not spend a fortune on this event. I'm very frugal when it comes to this stuff, but before you know it, I was agreeing to face painting, color, I can share this with anybody, color me funky. So, and enchanted animals. That wouldn't have been, I usually am looking for like freebie things that would be appealing. Hopefully they're right and it'll draw people to come. Somebody in our group got Frosty's ice cream truck, and we may have a food truck there. That's pending. I'm going to be ordering milkweed seed packets to hand out for free for planting butterfly gardens, a couple 100 packets at least. And we're going to have Black Earth composting there with starter kits. I can't remember I think they may be giving that out very discounted, or I'm not sure what the thing is on that, but they're going to be there. We're talking about composting. So we have, and we will have EVs there. Okay, so you get an idea that, what started out as a little thing, people keep now getting in touch with me. They want to take different tables, booths. So we'll see if we can work it out. Oops, uh-oh. I'm going to have to stop sharing because I don't know why, but it's not letting me go back. So give me a sec again.
Not to worry.
Uh,
It's great information.
I've got to find out what the, here we go. So I was up to this slide. The event promotion. Let me just make sure I'm on the right side. Okay, before I go back to sharing. I have to find out. So this is event promotion. We have our website. We have an e-newsletter. We're sending an announcement to the mayor. Facebook, all those things, obvious. And then this is an example of somebody put together a promotion. The simpler, the better on the promotion. To be honest, I'm not wild about this, but whoever did it, I didn't want to offend them. But they want it to be, the promotion to be like happy-go-lucky, fine, but graphics, there are other graphics that I sent as examples of more contemporary examples of things. So I actually have to leave at 11 o'clock sharp, and I will be able to share this information with anybody who is interested in organizing an event. I would like to see Ricky's presentation, so I'm going to stop sharing. And I welcome anybody to get in touch with me if you have questions about any of I use those as examples, the petting zoo. I think there's going to be chickens and I don't know, rabbits and things like that. So anyone who wants, and you're welcome to come on April 24th in the afternoon to see what it's, see what's happening there. And one last thing, we do an expo in October, and usually. And so anyone who wants to get in touch with me, Ricky and I met this way, and we're always sharing information. So with that, I'd love to hear Ricky's presentation.
I think
Marcia,
Rick has a question.
yeah,
Yeah, Marcia, can you share your email?
yeah.
Sure.
Put it in the chat or something?
Yep, that's what I'm doing.
Okay. So we're LexCan. Some of you may know that have heard of GWAC, which is what we used to be, Lexington Global Warming Action Coalition. We rebranded ourselves because we really wanted climate action in our name. As you can see, we're highlighting the word now. But our vision and mission about informed, engaged communities and acting in collaboration, these were the kinds of things that we wanted to do within LexCan that led us to do a sustainability fair. So we struggled for a while in our main meetings. What should we call it? What's the tagline, etc. We landed on this, Lexplore Sustainability. In Lexington, everything has Lex before it, so to be like let's. So, this was a quote that's in Wikipedia: achieving sustainability will enable the earth to continue supporting human life. Our goals became, we wanted to empower people to be able to take action. We wanted to give them any tool that they could use to change their behavior. We did two of these, and one was in 2016, one was in 2018. The 2016 got a good financial kickoff from the Community Endowment of Lexington, which is an endowment that has environment as one of their goals for giving funding to. But honestly, when it came to 2018, we had no funding. We have some money in our bank account, and we were still able to pull it off. The first year, it just was a lot more work, which I'm sure anybody who's done any kind of large event knows. And I so agree with Marcia. You start out small, and then every idea is a good idea. So we decided that after many conversations on a zillion different things, we decided that we needed some focus areas. Ours were energy and buildings, food and land use, transportation, health, schools, and water. Now, those are all big and broad, but they became sort of the guidelines for who we would talk to, what kind of, we had speakers too, what kind of speakers we wanted, what kind of tables we wanted. And we used this Let's Address Climate Change as a community and reached out to so many community groups that touch on climate change, the Tree Committee, rain garden, somebody who was doing a rain garden on one of our public, at our DPW building. We had vendors and how-to demonstrations. We wanted town officials to come. We wanted businesses to come, and we wanted families to come. And we wanted everybody also to have fun. So the first thing we did was create our leadership team. You can see Mary Yardley, who's our facilitator, is there. And we're all really happy and smiling. This picture was taken at the end of the fair. Not that we weren't happy and smiling all through the planning, but we were happy because it was a big success. The room was buzzing all day, for all the hours we had it, the room was buzzing, and that was very exciting. Every time we reached out to somebody and explained what we wanted to do, we only more met with enthusiasm. The only reason we didn't have even more is they didn't have, someone to come and sit at the table, and we required that. So the next big thing for us, like with Marcia, was to find a venue. We liked the high school. This is one of the big cafeterias, and you can see we have things going on all around the outside of the cafeteria. And there's this middle area, which I'll discuss in a minute. But we also were having a speaker series. So the high school had both the big room and the smaller room where we could have the speakers sit and talk. And I'm not quite sure which, although I see this one was on our zero waste committees from Lexington. So we also had to use the hallways because we had so many tables. We had we had electric bikes that came. I remember them being in the hall. We had just had a lot of various kinds of groups. This is the full list eventually of everybody who agreed to come. To be honest, I think this is the 2018 list, which is very similar to the 2016 list. So we really tried to get not only our local town, then we had vendors that can actually, you can get heat pumps from, or geothermal, or all of the above with Revision Energy. We invited nonprofits, so like MCAN and Citizens Climate Lobby, people who were doing the work brought on a broader basis, because sometimes people are drawn to that and they have a lot of influence. We registered voters because really we all know that the big change has got to happen at the state level and the federal level. And if you don't vote, you can't get anything done. And then the rest are all community groups that touch on anything that has to do with sustainability. And of course, we had to entertain our kids while their families came. Next slide. Okay. Oops. So these were our speakers and panelists, and I'm sorry it's small and you can't read it, but I'll be sharing the slides afterwards. So on the left are the 2016 panels and speakers, and on the right is the 2018 panels and speakers. As you can see above, Mike Barrett is very generous with his time. He loves to speak to climate activists. So I would encourage you to get somebody from the state government. Oh, and 5 minutes, I better go quickly. So we have less in 2018 because we had too many in 2016. It was too busy. There was too much going on and for people to decide. So these are pictures from our event. And the idea is to show you that people got engaged. They got to a table. There was somebody there who was an expert and could help them make decisions or transition. We also had an EV showcase. The high school happens to have a big circular driveway and owners, and we had almost every kind of EV possible. We just reached out to the community and said, do you have an EV that you'd like to come and demonstrate for people? People like to show off their EVs. So that was an exciting part of it. Here are people learning about composting, worm composting, backyard composting. We had Black Earth there for curbside composting, all kinds of varieties of ways to access clean local food. Then we had energy vendors. We had Homeworks, who was signing up people for free energy audits. Sustainable Lexington is our local group that really works hard to get a lot of things done. And this is, I love this picture because here is this young student thinking about, oh my God, look at all these things we're doing in this town. He really looks engaged. And then engaging kids and families. We had games for kids. This is Try to Feed Charlie the Composting Clown. We had this is a group called Mary, help me, Kids Cooking Green. Yeah. And so kids could help cook, kids could help eat. And this is actually an ongoing program in Lexington. Then we did what was so much fun was recycle. Here's Mary over here. Doing recycled art. I put out a call to the community and I said, anybody have any art supplies that they're willing to donate for this fair? And I left a big box outside my house, and we got so many donations of fabulous things. So we didn't buy anything for this. This is all donated, and we invited some artists who like to work with kids to sit down and try and make things, and people could just do it. It was in the middle of the fair, so really, if your kid was old enough, you could leave your kid and go walk around. So that was important to us, that families and kids felt welcome. In terms of how much work it takes, I'm not going to suggest that this is a quick and easy thing to do. The first year we had the grant, and we had a team of 3, and I'd say 10 hours a week. Of course, at the end, it's more like 25 hours a week. And in the beginning, it's more like 2 hours a week. These numbers, I kind of just pulled out of my head. So I don't have any data to prove it. But when you have the right team, it's just a whole lot of fun to work on it, because every time you get a new vendor, it's like lots of excitement building. Financially, we spent about $3,000 for our space. We have to pay the custodians for printing, speaker honorariums, and we did collect fees from our vendors, so that depending on the size of the table they wanted, we asked vendors, do you need electricity? Because some people are demonstrating things. So a lot of communication back and forth, and we made about $510 from the vendor fees. And basically, I would say this was a very big success. One of the vendors said to me, and this really just warmed my heart, he said, "This is the most comprehensive fair I've ever attended. It's great that you included all aspects of sustainability." And that's what we wanted. We wanted people to walk in and say, here are all these things I can do in my home. Let me see what is the thing I can actually take on now. Maybe it's curbside composting. Maybe I want to install solar. It could be little things. It could be big things. It's, educating and moving people to action. And I think we were successful at doing that. So you can write me at this address, and I will share this. And I would also be willing to share, just so you can see this document, and then we can, if you want to go to the, oops, I guess I don't have it open. We have an extensive Google spreadsheet that has speakers, tables, various tabs, and I'm happy to share that with you, even with, I can't include contact information, but I can include who we had, so you can see different ideas for the type of people you want. Rick?
Ricky, could you put up your email address? Went by so fast, I didn't get it.
Oh, sorry. Let me, Mary, you want to put info@lexcan.org? Isn't that our email? Yeah. He'll put it, Mary will put it in the chat.
Thank you.
And then, excuse me, Rick, did you see Marcia's email in the chat? I think if you,
Yeah, Marcia at greennewton.org.
yeah, I think if you contact her, then she will share her
Right.
slides that way.
Right.
Thank you.
Eventually, you'll get something from Sustainable Middlesex that points you to all of the recordings and all of the slides. And it'll all be in one folder. So if there was something else you wanted to go to, you can also watch that and get the slides. And everybody who's doing this today is as we all are, we want to share information. There's no sense in reinventing the wheel. I'm happy to stay on if people have more questions, or you can go back. We can go back to the main room where there'll be some casual conversation, some closing remarks. It's really up to Paul, Janet, and Rick on what you want to do.
Well, thank you all for your comments and your time today. Those are 2 very exciting fairs. I appreciate it. I'll probably go back to the main room.
Yeah, thank you very much. I'm going back to the main room, but that had some good ideas. Thank you.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah, all good stuff. And go back to the main room.
Thank you for coming, everyone.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ricky.
Thank you, Ricky.
You're welcome. My pleasure.